All right, everybody, welcome to our Monday night jackpot. It is, I never know what day it is. This is so bad. Monday, February 5th. That's the great part when you own your own business. It doesn't really matter what the date is because you just get to do whatever you want and schedule your life how you want. So tonight we are going to talk about some of the objections that you guys might get in the business, and I do want this to be interactive. So I'm going to go over a few common ones, and then I'm actually going to show you where you can find a really great training in the mission-driven model if you've never watched it before, with Loretta Koth, who is master at this. And I'm going to go a little bit over her worksheet, but I'm not going to screen share so that you guys can really just interact back and forth with me first before we screen share it. So with that being said, the first thing in this process is to self-assess. So what is it that you want with your Juice Plus business? You know, we've talked about how we're way more confident sharing the product, and we're all working on sharing the business story more often, because now that you all are 2,000 plus or you're already a sales coordinator, if we don't have a strongly qualified business, what is it we're not doing? You know, mostly we know it's not sharing our story, but we want to add team, and that's what's going to keep moving us forward into the next positions and getting us the qualifiers that we want, and then teaching that duplication of qualifying. When do you want it to happen? You know, is this, you want to be a qualified business next month? Do you want to be a 3 club by summer? You know, when is it? You want to set those goals because it's easier to work backwards once you've actually set a timeline done. You know, I can say all the time, like, gosh, I really want to make another $1,000 on my paycheck. Okay, but I didn't give myself any deadline, right? So do I want that by Phoenix? Do I want that by Tampa? Or do I just maybe want it in the next 2 or 3 years? And the reason we set a date is that really sets the pace. You know, if I go to Jamie as my sponsor and I say, Jamie, I really, really, really want to make my paycheck go up. I'm thinking $4,000. And she's like, great. When do you want that to happen by? And I say, I don't know, maybe 5 years. Her approach to how she coaches me would be totally different than if I said, you know, I want my paycheck to go up $1,000 before the fall conference. Because with that, she can really take that and work with me and set what our daily method of operation is going to look like. So make sure you're also willing to do what it is that makes it happen. I hear a lot from people like, I want to have a qualified business, yet we're not willing to share our story. How are we going to get there? How are people going to know about Juice Plus if we're not talking to them? You know, we want it, but we're not quite willing to get uncomfortable enough to get that goal that we want. So that's what this group is all about, just talking it out, helping you guys find that courage to go out there and share what you know. And I got to be on a lead call this afternoon, and even Megan, I'm going to throw Megan under the bus, was talking about she got the most customers she's ever gotten before in her business. You guys, she's been recognized as a 39 Club National Marketing Director, and she was like, oh, maybe I was kind of getting in my own way. So it doesn't matter how long you've been in the business, okay? We all have those insecurities, and she had to, you know, push herself to do something a little more uncomfortable in order to get all those customers this month. So yay, Megan, way to go. So, okay, so what excuses do you let get in your way? How many of you will say that you don't have time? Show of hands. Okay, so if your best friend that you hadn't seen in a month said that they were coming to town, how many of you would rearrange your schedule a little bit so that you could see them? Right, so this is what we want to think of our business as. Like, this is really that important. If you want the goal, you're showing up, you're here on a lead call. So we know that you want this business. We know you want to be here, but you have to schedule that time in. You know, just like I would move some things so that I could see my best friend if they came to town, what can you make sure that you put on your calendar every day? It doesn't have to be a lot. But I can tell you, even sitting down with some other NMDs and doing a 15-minute text blitz, I had a ton of people show up for a salad and a jar party. And then I had many more that I just got to follow up with. How many of you maybe feel like you don't know enough about either the product or the business And that's what's holding you back a little bit. Anybody? Yeah? Okay. So this is also a great thing about our business is you don't have to know diddly squat. It's awesome. You know that everything truly, I know you guys get all these websites and trainings and all these things thrown at you, but honestly, everything you need to share with your prospects is on your own juiceplus.com website. I have combed and combed and combed over that. It is a wealth of information. So I just encourage you to play around on that, because there's the research, there's doctors' videos, there's healthy living blog, there is everything to learn about the business and the franchise model. There's the healthy living giving foundation and all the things that we give to. So it's all there right on one website. So play around a little on that and get familiar with it. And it will boost your confidence. I know Jamie used to tell me when I started, we used to have back in the old days CDs, and nobody listens to those anymore. But she would tell me to pop one in my car. I think that's, she first shared Juice Plus with me with a CD, and I listened to it while I was driving. And every time I went somewhere, I popped one of those CDs in, and I listened to these Juice Plus doctors, and it just built my confidence up so much. And someone would be like, I don't want your stuff. And I'd be like, pop my little CD in, and I'd learn all about heart health. And man, I was like, they don't know what they're talking about. If only they could hear Dr. Tamara Sachs right now. And then someone would say, oh, this is not a great business. You don't know what you're talking about. And I'd pop my CD of Wendy Campbell in. So even though you may not have CDs, guess what? There's Juice Plus YouTubes. There is an official YouTube channel for Juice Plus. There's one for the franchise, and there's one for the Tower Garden, and there's, yeah, that's it, 3. But there's so much valuable information. So anytime that you want to just, pump up your knowledge, that's your little Juice Plus University. Watch one of those videos. None of them are hardly longer than 2 or 3 minutes. Sorry, I get Okay. How many of you are worried that someone will reject you? Yeah. This is what's so funny to me. If I remember one of my very first trainings I went to, and I think, we used to have these things called, Jamie can help me remember, virtual VFOs on Saturday mornings, virtual franchise, I think that's what we call it. Anyway, something like that. Virtual franchise overview. Overview, okay. I knew it was VFO. And we just had these 4 little segments, and someone talked about the product, someone talked about the business, someone talked about, network marketing, and we used to do them all the time. And this one time, this girl went around, and I think this was the topic that she had, and she went around to everybody, and she had sold Mary Kay, and she was like, lotion, and like 3/4 of the people in the room took lotion from her and were like, thank you, and like rubbed her hands, and some people were like, no. And she was like, what's funny is it didn't crush me, the 5 of you that said no. And so I started using that as practice when I would go somewhere. I would be like, gum, mint, and I would just ask people if they wanted something, and then when they told me no, I was like, who cares? I got stinky breath now, or whatever, just anything to practice asking questions, because a lot of times it's not so much about the objection, it's about us being fearful of asking a question because we're not ready to get into conversation with people we don't know well, things like that. So practice those. Okay, so I'm going to go to some of these common objections, and hopefully I won't have to pick them off the sheet, because you're going to unmute yourself and tell me something that a potential customer or a potential team member or just a thing that you have in your head that this is why you're not sharing with them. So you're going to have to hit unmute.
Most people say it's too expensive.
That is a great one, Barb. Love it. Okay. This is my favorite one to tackle, and this is how I do it. One, we never want to attack what somebody says. right? If they say it's too expensive, then in their brain, it costs a lot of money. So why is that? And we do know that people will buy what they value. Like how many people pay $7 for Starbucks every single day and don't blink, right? So we know, and especially it might even be that person, you're like, what are they talking about? Like, I see them out all the time buying all kinds of junk. So this is what I like to say to people, a couple things. One, I empathize. You know, I totally get that because when I was first introduced to Juice Plus, I thought that too. You know, find that common bond with them and then ask them if you can share how you got over that. So for me, I share with people, you know, I used to think the same thing because when Jamie introduced Juice Plus to me, I was actually I was struggling to pay my bills. Half the time we could hardly keep the lights on. However, I was going to do anything to keep my baby healthy. And what I found was I was going to ask my husband, what could we give up so I could get on Juice Plus because it's food. She helped me understand that it was food. And so I just looked in my grocery cart and thought, what am I willing to sacrifice? I mean, personally, I wasn't willing to sacrifice anything, but I made Josh give up a Mountain Dew a day. And like, people always laugh at that. You know, they're like, oh yeah. I'm like, really? I mean, he was drinking 3 Mountain Dews a day, getting them from the gas station. They cost $1.89. She was offering me something that was like $1.38. So I said to my husband, hey, could you give up 1 soda a day? And he said, yes. And all of a sudden it fit in our budget. So, you know, that's a big one. It's making sure they understand it's food. Look at their grocery bill with them and help them see, like, is there something that you would be willing to give up? I mean, if this is something you want, you know, you're helping them find the value of it. If it's something you want, what can we reallocate? So they're not really giving up anything major, right? Like maybe it's a bag of Doritos and bottled water or something like that. It doesn't have to be anything major. You know, we're not asking them to give up their Starbucks or whatever. The other thing for me was that now that I've been on Juice Plus, you know, in the beginning, I could say now that I've been on it a few months, it's actually paying me because I was only paying $45 when I started for my Duo Children's Health Study. And we quickly got off all our asthma and allergy meds. I was paying over $100 a month just for myself for prescription medicine, not to mention the copays, $25 every time I walked in the pediatrician's office, which was at least once a month for one of my kids. And then not to mention the tissues and the allergy meds and the days I had to take off work or, you know, my husband having to take a day and pay off so that he could stay home. We had to take turns because we ran out of sick days. When we ran out of sick days, we got docked vacation days. So I am literally saving. If you look at how much money that it used to cost me in sick care, the $45 a month is now, which now, I mean, we pay, I'll be honest, we pay hundreds a month for Juice Plus because I have 3 kids and they're all on double adult doses of capsules and we drink shakes like they're water. But I still wouldn't go back because the amount of money we spent on medical bills was massive. So just find that connecting point with someone. But I think that's a huge one. I think Barb hit the nail on the head right off the beginning. What are other ones that you guys experience that people say to you?
They don't like the automatic ship. Like,
Yes. So that is something that I really have to talk to people about too. And I'm going to show you to make sure you're doing this. I got to remember my own Juice Plus. I'm going to screen share. Okay. So I will say to people, what's your objection? You know, tell me more about that. Most people say, I have really gotten burned in the past. Like people just let things ship to me. And I say, again, I totally relate to that. But here's what we're going to do to make sure that we're on top of that. So we have given total control to you as the customer. So you take them to your site. And now we have this little head here that says my account. And if you're not doing this with your customers, I ask you to go back and do this. I have shared with my team that I will have people here and there delay. I never get cancels. I think I get delays where I would have got cancels, and that helps me bump up my customer care. So make sure you're taking them there. And when they're signing up, I'm automatically helping them set up my account. and they click on my account, all they do is put in like their name and their phone number, and it will actually send them alerts just like it would you in your virtual office, right? Because I think where people get frustrated is, and it could be that they've done Juice Plus before, or they've done some product like that, they start getting stockpiled and stockpiled and stockpiled. So one, it's your job to do amazing customer care and promise them that you are going to watch that. But two, I have people do that with me so that I know that they're in control, and that makes people super happy. And that's a newer feature. We've only been doing that about 7 or 8 months, I would say.
Hey, Karen, what about the objection of a current customer in terms of a cancellation of their order?
You mean just that they just want to cancel?
Mm-hmm. And how to handle that conversation?
Well, what we like to do, what I try to teach my team, is to do an exit interview. And so I basically give them that same form that, I go back to. And I do like to keep notes on my customers. And you can do that, you guys, in your virtual office. If you go to your address book, it really lets you put a whole lot of stuff in there about your customers. So you can even type in like exposures, what DVDs or videos they've watched, what events they've been to, things like that. And so I like to make sure I write down what their goal is. That's really important, because just because I think Megan needs Juice Plus because she started it for the Shred 10, that may not be her goal anymore. And so let's say Megan tells me she wants to start Juice Plus for the Shred 10. Well, 3 months later, she lost 30 pounds, and guess what? She doesn't think she needs Juice Plus anymore. So that goes back to that, customer care also, in like continuing to check what their goal is that they want to get out of Juice Plus. And so, for me, obviously in the beginning, it was about my baby, but then it changed. Then it changed to me. Then it changed more to focus on my daughter. Then it focused. So it shifts around. So make sure you're asking once in a while what it is their goal is with their Juice Plus. How are they doing? And then Megan, like I said, I always ask them for an exit interview. Sometimes it turns out that that's not really the reason they're canceling. A lot of times it's a financial thing, and then I can turn it into asking them to join my team. Sometimes it's really that they actually just were my friend and they didn't want to tell me that they forgot to take it, and they now have 5 boxes in their closet. And I can say, like, how can I help you with that? Let me help you get through that. And so I put them on my radar to go back in a few months and ask if they're ready to reship again. Especially if someone's on the Children's Health Study. I think that we don't give ourselves as a company enough credit for that. You guys do pay for that, right? I mean, you're paying a portion of your paycheck. And so I never, when I am taking those orders, tend to say to people, like, I might talk to them about kids can be free in the beginning, but what I really say to them is, what you're paying for is your Juice Plus order and your child's shipping. I, as the representative, is paying for your child's order. And so it kind of makes them more committed, because they know that you've gifted someone that. It's not that it's just free from the company, because it's not just free from the company. You put in as well as your uplines into that. So I really like to talk about that. And I feel like that makes my Children's Health Study people stay around for a long time.
Yeah, and I think the important thing is don't be afraid to ask them questions.
Right.
The worst thing that can happen is that they still say no, yeah, no. But if you don't ask and you just say, oh, okay, I'll take it out, well, then that's it. That's the end. But if you ask, well, what's going on? Because it sometimes even just, I have quite a bit left. I found that I wasn't able to take it, and I didn't really notice anything. So then in that case, I just encourage them, well, you know what, why don't you, let's figure out how we can commit to really taking what you have left as it's, shared on the label, and let's revisit it. I'll push you back until the end of April. And then after you've taken it, kind of as prescribed or as dosed for these next couple of months, then let's revisit it. I had a lady who used the customer portal, and she's only had the product for 6 weeks right now, and just went in and canceled it on her own. I could have been completely terrified. not said anything to her, just let it go and went, oh, darn, she canceled already and she's not even been on it long enough. But say something. So I messaged her and I said, hey, Kristen, I just saw that you had canceled your order. She had said it didn't give her the energy she was hoping. I said, due to lack of effectiveness, I'm sorry it didn't work out for you how you were hoping. But I would encourage you to just take what you have left, and you may end up seeing something, in the next few months. Said, as I shared when you got started, we always send that full 4 months because it takes our body 4 months to turn over healthy new cells, and you may notice something a little bit later down the road. Well, sure enough, all of a sudden on Friday, that was Monday, she messaged me back and she said, oh my gosh, I'm sorry to be a pain, but I all of a sudden feel better. And my husband's all of a sudden starting to lose weight. So we actually want to totally continue on it. Can you uncancel our order? And so it ended up really good. And I think just keeping that conversation open, not being attached to the outcome, but just being their advocate really, really goes a long way. And I think even if they do end up canceling, it still keeps that relationship intact, which I think is the reason we're all afraid to have the conversation in the first place, right? But I think if you don't stay attached to the outcome, but rather just really honestly caring about them, it'll all work out.
Yeah. And, maybe that's maybe that might be because you have yours on. I don't know. Get some feedback for a second. Maybe not. Lost my train of thought. Oh, here's a good one. I got this from my own actual doctor. So some people will say, I need to ask my doctor about this. And so I think it goes back to what Megan just said. It's all about asking questions. And so what I usually ask people right off the bat is, oh, what are you seeing a doctor for? And they'll tell you if, they have a health concern, because that can actually help you know more what to find them information on, or whether they're just, giving that to you as an actual objection. And so what I have found, especially with pregnant women, because they'll say, do I think I need to ask my OB? Is I'll say, oh yeah, feel free. And let me give you some questions that you need to ask him. So the best thing to ask him is, what are your food restrictions right now? And, really that's the same with everyone. If someone, has cancer, if someone has an autoimmune disease, the best thing they can ask their doctors are, do I have any food restrictions? Because if the doctor says no, why? Then they say, oh, well, I was looking at something, it's fruits and vegetables. And that's the other thing I make sure they say, make sure you tell them it's just fruits and vegetables. Your doctor is rarely, 99% of the time, is going to say you can have fruits and vegetables for anything. There are cases, though, where depending on, very specific things that some people maybe, they have to watch what they are or watch their medication levels. But for the most part, that is what I say is that. Here's one, too, because I know we're running out of time. Someone actually said this to me last week. And they said, I just don't get it. Like, how can you get all those fruits and veggies into a little bitty capsule? And my response, because I had my water cup with me, I was like, it's right here. And they're like, what? What do you mean? I'm like, because I'm getting cremated when I die, and I'm going to fit in a container this size. And they were like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I'm like, it's just dehydrated. So when you take all the water out of anything, it shrinks down really, really small. It's like, didn't you used to watch the Jetsons? Like, whew. Or you think of those toys, like kids get those little, I don't know, my kids used to love these little bath time toys, and they literally were in this little capsule, and then you put water in it, and all of a sudden you've got like a beach towel. It was amazing. So, just things like that they all of a sudden can see that visualization. So I'm going to show you where to find this in the mission-driven model, because I know we use that a lot. There's two things here. I'm going to screen share. That would be helpful. Okay. So it's under, you go to mission-driven model, and then how, maybe I'll back up one more. Just make sure you guys get it. Building your customer base, how to share Juice Plus and get customers. We've taken you here before for trainings, because we talked about here, like your close friends, your casual friends, your memory jogger. But if you keep scrolling, because I know we've talked about this Jake and Jenna Rude experience, keep coming down, keep coming down. This right here, embrace the objection cycle. Click to listen to the call. It's a great call. But if you click here for the handout, this is where I was just pulling some of these questions from. It's a 5-page document, but really when you get down to the second page, it starts these, you know, I'm already healthy. When I get someone that says to me, I'm already healthy, I eat tons of fruits and vegetables, I don't go, nobody eats 9 to 13 servings of fruits and vegetables. I say, oh my gosh, I need you on my team because most people don't get that. Can you help me explain that to people? And they're like, oh, okay. Like, I'm excited for people that get health because those are the people we want, right? There's the doctor one, people who already take vitamins and supplements. Notice that everything here is a question. We're never lecturing to people. We're never arguing with them. We're asking, tell me more about that. How did you get to that choice? That's really interesting. Some people actually might be doing something that is good. I've learned about other products through people. So it's something that I might, adopt as well as my Juice Plus. Spouse, that's a good one. People get that a lot, right? I got to go ask my husband. I'm like, come on, ladies. You know that we all are writing all the checks. You don't need to go talk to your husband. I think I'll try eating right first. I hate taking pills. It's not organic. All kinds of stuff like this. So here's objections by, like Megan said, current customers that are canceling. This is, what they might tell you. The product isn't doing anything. It gives me gas. I can't get my kids to take it. Objections for joining your team. We didn't even get into that. So look through that. Look at all these different things and go through that because I think that will be something that gives you guys a lot of confidence to move forward because we know that the more you go out there and share your stories, those customers are going to come in and those team are going to come in. So any questions before we close? It's 9:30. So I want to honor your time. Yeah, Amber.
What about people that are just closed to like network marketing in general?
I usually ask them, why is it? Like, tell me more about that. I have found an abundance of people that got burned back in the day. There's one company out there that a lot of people know that just really kind of ruined network marketing for a lot of people. And they're still around, but and they're a great company, but there was some things done. It's just like you hear things on the news all the time that, people have to buy in. And I think that's where people get most of their objection to it is they were a part of something like that and they spent a lot of money or they lost a lot of money because they had to, buy so many products per quarter or they had minimums every month. So I think it's really important to ask, have you done network marketing before? Because if they have, then the great part is they know how it works. And you get to share how our business model is different than anything they've been a part of before. So yeah, ask lots of questions with that one. And the other thing that I didn't say for all of these is, if you're not there yet, you're not feeling fearless, that's where those 3-way calls come in and you get your sponsor on the phone with you and you let them talk and you hear their verbiage. And then that gives you more confidence that next time you know what to say. Because we don't expect you to know what to say right away off the bat, right? Good question though, Amber. Anything else? All right. Well, I am hoping that you guys will go through that sheet and feel really brave this week. We're really halfway in and we want to kick you out of this group at the end of 8 weeks. I love graduating people. And I know Megan and Jamie do too. So we want to see fresh faces in here. We want to see you guys hit your goals and we want to help you with that. So during the week, if there's something that you guys are struggling with, please reach into that Facebook group. A lot of times it's silence until Monday. So this is your support group. There's 3 NMDs here and we're here to help. So please use us, ask us questions because if you have it as a question, I promise you someone else in this group does too. So, all right, everybody.